welcome back to another awesome episode of the Make More Sales podcast by Gain the Edge, right? The show that explains the truth behind making effortless sales so that you can be focusing on your zone of genius, right? I'm your host, Jim Padilla. Today, we're going to talk about 6 ways to build trust in sales conversations, right? We're going to discuss the ins and outs of building trust inside a sales conversation so that you make your sales prospects want to do business with you today. Right. And if you stick around to the end, we're going to offer you a special surprise. Right. So make sure you listen all the way to the end for the details. And I also want to make sure you understand a little bit of twist, right? We're talking about sales. Yes, you are here to be able to make more sales. And that's obviously the name of the podcast. But we emphasize and focus on scaling, right? We want to scale companies. We want you to be able to move beyond yourself. So while, yes, we're interested in optimizing you, we're more committed to replacing you in the sales process. So I want you to be thinking about this stuff from the lens, from the frame of not just how do you do this, how does your company do this? How does your company build trust in the sales conversation? And it's not just in the sales conversation, we'll call it the sales process, right? So we're talking specifically about dialogue and interaction, but I'm also going to be sharing with you how this pertains to leading your company, leading your team, because I want you thinking about that, even if you're a solopreneur right now, because the only way to get where you want to go and get this company, get you to a place where you can start leveraging, right? And start really pouring into the things you want to do in your company, in your business, in your goals, in your life, is get you out of the sales process, right? That's our priority number 1. Right. But before we dive in, please make sure you go follow us on Instagram, right? At Gain the Edge Now and at makemoresales.podcast. Right. And feel free to message me with any questions. That is what we're here for. We are here to serve you and support you in your optimizing your sales journey for your clients. Right. So let's dive in. We're going to jump into 6 key ways to build trust in your sales. We'll call it in your sales process. All right. Number 1, have empathy. Okay. Again, I want you to be really clear on this stuff. None of this is rocket science. Okay. I didn't invent any of this. I'm just making sure to highlight it and point it out. And what we see while on the path to generating over $250 million in sales and delivering 25,000 sales conversations a year. These things, there's just things we see at scale. This is not about guessing or what we've seen read in a book or some philosophy. This is tried and true. I'll be honest with you. I'm at a point where I almost don't care what anybody else thinks anymore, right? I'm tired of what the experts say. We're just telling you what we see from the front lines of doing this day in and day out at scale, right? So we're just sharing you the stuff that we pull from all of our campaigns, all of our clients, and all the things that we do. So we're just literally sharing exactly what was working for us, exactly what isn't working for us, and what we see consistently. That is what's coming to you. Okay. So number 1, have empathy, right? You must be able to understand their problems, inspire and build confidence. You want to make sure that every touch point with your prospective buyers, that you are inspiring confidence. You are building confidence in them for you. Now, that confidence needs to come in the form of, hey, you understand me. Therefore, I can trust that I can continue to move forward in this. You're expressing things that nobody else is expressing. You're positioning yourself as an expert. You're positioning yourself as somebody in the know, as somebody who really gets this and gets me. Therefore, I need to continue to learn more. You're shifting the narrative. You're helping me see something in a perspective that I never thought about before. So I need to keep coming back here to hear the rest of that, right? And show me more, right? So you want to make sure that that's what's happening. You want to make sure that you understand your client, their problems, their journeys, their fears, their pains, their struggles, everything that they're dealing with at an intimate level, so that you're not sounding like some everyday marketer and you're not sounding like just a commodity, like one of the many people who do what you do. Right. You need to be the one person who speaks to them in a way that this matters. Because here's the deal, guys. Here I see all the time is if you pop out of that, if you start focusing this at any point in time about the product and about what you're doing, you lose them, because nobody is showing up. Nobody travels distance for you. They travel distance for them. They travel distance to get their problem solved, get their needs met, to do the things that make them feel good. Okay. So you have to make sure you're continually putting things in front of them for them to consume, to travel distance and advance ground towards you. All right. And those are the things and those things are centered around them knowing how much you get them. Right. Don't talk tactics. Don't talk strategy. Don't talk skills. Talk about the things that your tactics, your strategies, your skills and outcomes or skills deliver in an outcome for them. The more you can talk about their outcomes, right? When you can have this, all of a sudden you have people coming to you. You have people engaged and riveted. You have people who are totally connected to you. You have people who are waiting for the next thing because they need to know what you have for them, right? That's different than interest and curiosity. You need to be compelling. Okay. Next, relatability. Okay. Relatability. Okay. First, have empathy. Second is live in relatability. Okay. Clients want somebody who can connect on their level, right? You understand? Well, we've heard the old adage, nobody cares how much you know until they know how much you care. Yes. That was I was saying it backwards. Nobody cares how much you know until they know how much you care. Okay. That's about relatability. That's about understanding them, meeting them where they are, right? And speaking to the things that they want. Right? You want confidence in your sales process. You want to make sure you want a line at the door. You want people, you want to be able to choose from the prospects that come your way. You want to be able to serve them at the level that they are and move people through your process and get them to stick around longer and have them buy from you more, right? Because it sucks trying to go out and continually prospect for clients. The most expensive thing most of you do in your company is acquire clients. So learn how to be relatable to them, keep them in your world, keep them wanting more, keep them journeying in your podcast is to keep you in our world longer, to relate to you, to build a relationship. We've had so many people who reach out from the podcast. We went for a little lull. We picked up, we got a couple of months where we didn't have a lot of episodes. We had people reaching out. Hey, when's your next episode coming? Right? We just dropped, we got some back into some cadence and some rhythm. And so things are coming back out. And I had a couple of people reach out last week. Hey, so glad you're fired up again. I can't wait to get into more of your episodes. Right? They're expecting it. This is building a relationship. Right? When you're putting out messaging and marketing stuff, you have to imagine the relationship that's being connected, the relatability that's happening here. This is not one-way communication. Don't dump on people, engage people. Right? Relatability. Ask questions that demonstrate that you care and communicate with them as somebody who really understands where they are and that you're on their level, or that you've been where they are and that you know how to get them where they're going. All right. Next piece. All right. Talk about results. Show the results. Show them that you can actually help them reach their goals. Right. Okay. Present relevant social proof that they can relate in their journey. You want to make sure that you're sharing with people, the people that you're helping with, right? You talk about the people that you serve, share case studies, right? We're in the middle of, we have pages of case study, right? And we're in the middle of building a video sequence right now that's going to come out. That's going to be just different case studies. Okay, now they don't have to be official, formal case studies. You can just say, a case study, an example, a way to share with people what you're doing is you can just share a quick 30-second story, right? You could say, look, Melinda came to us in our world and she was really struggling. She was frustrated. She only had she was a one-trick pony. She only knew one way to be able to sell people into what she's doing. And now for being in our world, sometimes she's starting to get bigger engagements, right? She just booked a conversation or booked a training for 300 people. She's got a workshop coming with 300 people in it. And she's got a clear path to an offer that's going to help her position herself really well and help her convey to the people in her audience that she totally gets them, totally understands. And it changes the game. Now, all of a sudden, she got the confidence, the clarity, and the certainty to be the leader that she knows she is and know how to serve and solve for these people. Okay. Again, simple, 30 seconds, quick story, talking about how to implement this. Make sure that you're sharing as much as you can about what people do in your world. And if you're newer, I know, most of you are more seasoned vets. We don't tend to attract too many new people to sales, although we certainly have plenty of value for you. But if you're new, think about the skill sets that you've delivered, because you're in business solving a problem that you've probably solved dozens, if not hundreds or thousands of times. You just haven't been paid for it if you're new in business, right? That doesn't negate the credibility that you've gained with all the people that you've helped over time, right? And whether you did it in your corporate job or whether you did it in your neighborhood for the people that you know, right? Share the stories of how you've helped transition people and serve people and solve for those people, right? It matters. It totally matters, right? One of my most impactful stories that I share often is in our events is our Arco or Bust story, which is about how we were coaching a high school basketball team that never was in the playoffs, and that we went all the way to Arco Arena and won a section championship because we shifted the culture around a phrase and a slogan called Arco or Bust, right? And we use that to really disseminate. Now, it's a great story in there, and I'll share that with you another time. But point is, that had nothing to do with sales training. That had nothing to do with scaling companies and building sales teams. It had everything to do with shifting culture. It had everything to do with watching people move and watching a community be transformed, right? Because everybody was crystal clear about the vision and where they're headed. right? That kind of stuff works. And that's every single business, every single operation, every single mission. I want to make sure that you are thinking that through. Don't just think of your case study testimonials. Think about the stories that are relevant and share those, because those are things that you helped impact, that you made a difference in other people's lives, which demonstrate your credibility and your expertise for the people that you're serving. Okay. So number 1, empathy. 2, relatability. Okay. 3, show the results. Okay? And number 4, communication. Now, what do we mean by communication? Okay. Asking the right questions, right? Asking the question that leads to having the right conversation with the right people at the right time about the right things. That's the whole focus here. The more you understand who they are and where they are, you're going to talk, you'll be able to speak to that instead of all the generalities that everybody else is speaking to. And I want to encourage you to cut through that noise, because the moment everybody is looking, when you start talking, people are looking for filters. Everybody's got a bunch of boxes and files in their brain, right? Some of you have boxes, some have files, some have piles, right? My wife says, I don't have files, I have piles. But you have a set number of files in your brain. And the moment somebody starts talking, your brain is immediately searching for one of those files to compare it to. So we have relatability, right? It's like, oh, okay, this is like this. Therefore, I understand it. Right? Oh, this sounds like this product. This sounds like sales training. Oh, this sounds like empathy. Oh, this sounds like every other commercial that I've heard. All right. So your job, don't wait. You don't have the luxury of waiting to get through the riffraff. Don't speak surface level conversation with people in the beginning, because immediately they're looking for a file to put you into, and that could determine that they don't even need to listen to you. Right? You need to speak from the heart to them as the expert, as the leader. Be clear, compelling, and powerful from the beginning, so that they say, oh, I don't have a file. There's a similar file, but I don't have one exactly for this. I need to hear what he's saying. This is different. This is changing the game a little bit, right? You want to be thinking that I do my best to be as compelling as possible. I don't say things the way other people say them. I just say them the way I say them. Like I said, I have completely separated myself from what the conventional wisdom of the marketplace is doing, because we've seen more than enough to know that not too many people are actually really good at what they do. Most people are guessing, and most people are following other people's process and system, right? So I don't want to mix that up. I just want to share you straight truth from what works and what doesn't. Okay. Communication. We're in a sales game. I got news for you. Something we have learned and embedded into our team and our company as a sales organization. I don't know if I said that right. The number one thing we do is communicate. We're not a sales organization. We're actually a communications company. We're a leadership company. We help people deliver messages that change people's lives. We help people deliver messages and ask questions in a way that compels them to think differently and see what they do differently, right? We are a communication organization that delivers messages that challenge people and that hold them accountable to taking actions in their own best interest, right? This is what we do. This is how I communicate. This is all I know. I'm just being me. Right. And I want you to be that same person. I want you to think, how do you show up in a manner that compels people to think, compels people to channel, compels people to take different actions, compels people to take risk, because the only way they're going to learn what you do is by changing what they've been doing. Right. And in order to change, you have to be willing to take risk. That's going to move people towards great conclusions. Right. That is your job. Right. It's not to get them interested. It's to get them committed. And there is a long way, a lot of real estate between interested and committed. Right? People need to be committed to needing to do the things that are necessary to get away from the place that they are. Right? And that is your job with communication. Make More Sales podcast sponsored by Gain the Edge. Right? Gain the Edge is a company that offers sales systems, strategies, processes, and teams to help you scale your company, step into your vision, start leading the people that you want to serve and building your empire, and not have to worry about chasing sales, hiring salespeople, managing, training, developing them, optimizing them, and everything that comes with it. Right? We want to set you up for freedom, success. You can focus on your zone of genius. We are always helping people fine tune and focus their sales systems and strategies, and build events and fine tune offers. We have regular trainings and workshops that happen every month that we'd love for you to be a part of. Make sure you go to the show notes and find the next workshop that's coming up. Sign up for it for a great deal. And if it's not available at the moment, coming up, sign up get on the waiting list, so you'll be the first person in the know. to be able to get that taken care of. So as soon as the next one's coming up, you will be alerted and be able to join us. Thank you as always for coming our direction, and let us help you scale and start making some money the way as you intended. All right. So here we are on this journey of getting through, what are the key things you need to do to build trust in the sales process, in the sales conversation, right? And we've already changed, hopefully changed the way you've been thinking, right? Make sure you have empathy and understand it, understand relatability and why it matters. Make sure you can show results consistently, because that's going to inspire confidence and build trust, right? Communication, make sure you are the one who is leading the process, building a path for them to advance ground towards you. Ask questions that compel and challenge and clarify so that they know they're in the right place. All right. And here we go to number 5. Don't focus on the sale. Don't focus on the sale. People can always sense when they're being sold to. We all like to buy things, but nobody likes to be sold, right? People love to be buying, but hate to be sold to, right? I'm assuming you fit in that bill too. I know I do. I love to buy. I'm a buyer. I just don't necessarily enjoy being sold to. Although because of what I do, I don't mind it. I pay attention to it. I'm always looking for, I enjoy a little bit of the process. And unfortunately, it also unveils a lot of people's weaknesses in the sales process. But that's a conversation for another day. Make sure you show up with the intention to serve. Make sure you show up with the intention to deliver insane value, and not just serve and not just be of value. Make sure you have a clear intention of what kind of value you want to deliver. What is it you actually want to impart in people, right? My whole objective for this conversation with you today is to ensure that you have clarity around how to lead people closer to you, how to attract people to take steps closer to you. This isn't about closing sales. This is about building a process that consistently leads people in your direction, right? And then based on where they are and what they're doing and where they are in this journey, you're going to be able to move them faster, slower, give them more value, insert touch points along the way for you or your sales team to be able to engage them and be able to move them over the hump based on where they are in the journey. But this is about, I want you to walk away with this feeling like you have confidence and clarity to be able to be clear about how to deliver and inspire trust in the people that you're dealing with, how to build a process and a sales conversation that consistently inspires trust in the prospects that you're dealing with so that they can move, so they understand that they're in the right place towards solving their problem. Okay. So if you do that, again, think about that process. That's all about you. That has nothing to do with me. This whole conversation is about you. It's about how do I help you see this differently? How do I help you take different actions? How do I help you shift the narrative just a little bit? So you go, okay, I haven't thought about it that way. I need to do it like this. And I'm all in for that. I'm willing to try. Okay. Next is the 6th final point that we're going to address today here is build authority. How to demonstrate authority in your expertise and in your niche. All right. How do you show up to help educate? Right. How does your point B match their wild goals? Right. Where are you leading them to? There's a saying that's been around in the sales game for a while. And I don't know, I've heard it ascribed to many different people. So we don't know. We'll just say author unknown. But a perfect offer is the ideal conclusion to a well-told story. The well-told story is the journey that they're on, the journey that you're on. You're in a story in our world, right? And you're consistently being led on this path. And we put different invitations and offers in front of you. And the ideal offer is the perfect conclusion to a well-told story. So it should always be expected when you make an offer. There should always be something that makes sense. They should be like, wow, yeah, based on where they've been leading me and what we've been talking about, that offer makes perfect sense. Now, maybe I'm not ready for it. Maybe I don't want to invest in it. Maybe I don't want to take those actions. I won't say I can't afford it because there's no such thing. But it doesn't mean you're going to buy it today, but it should always make sense. You should be like, well, of course, that's a great solution, right? That makes sense. Okay. And so you want to, that comes with, demonstrating the authority and the expertise you have in their niche, right? When you can go an inch wide and a mile deep, which is really, really important today. This is a whole nother episode that I have planned for, but we have an exercise called the 1 inch mile exercise, and I'll be sharing that with you on a future episode coming up. But something that we see right now with, I was listening to in a discussion yesterday in Mastermind Group, and they were talking about how personnel is policy. It was more about a political conversation, like your people in your cabinet, the people on your team, right? What they were really talking about was the people you assemble will dictate the path that you continue on, right? Personnel is policy. So basically, the people you build around you become the policy that you implement, become the things you do. Otherwise, why would you build them around you, right? You're building people on your team. You're building people in your world that you are ultimately that are going to help you fulfill your goals and your vision and your mission and the things that you do. And there will be more leaders in the future because of technology and internet and social media. There, it used to be set that one person would be a leader to many people and build big communities. Think about news anchors, right? Walter Cronkite. There was a time in this nation where everybody in the country knew who Walter Cronkite was, right? And he was the news guy. Everybody tuned into Walter Cronkite to see the news for the evening. Well, now there's thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, if not millions of sources and sites for news. You can go to news agencies, you can go to mass media, you can go to individual podcasts, you can come here for your news, right? You could be a news channel. Everybody is a media channel unto themselves now. And so there'll be more leaders with smaller communities instead of fewer leaders with bigger communities, right? And so you can think about that. You don't need millions of people in your world. Matter of fact, we have, in our, this is our one-page strategic plan, which is in front of me every single day, right? And we've got a $10+ million revenue goal for the year. And it's all going to be executed through 220 clients. That's our goal, right? 20 enrollment excellence clients, our outsourced sales team ready clients, 100 and 100 enrollment events. We're not conquering the world with millions of followers, hundreds. How many people do you need to accomplish your goals, right? Make sure that you can understand how to impart your authority and expertise in the community, no matter how small it is. You can make a living. You can make a killing. You can literally accomplish your dreams and all the things you want with a small following, if it's the right following, right? Because the right people will follow you if you are clearly the expert at what you do, clearly the authority in your lane, and people will show up because they know that when they come here, they get fed and they can trust that, right? That's what you want to be. That's what you need. When you show up like that, you build a system and a process around that, and everybody will consistently be consuming it and coming closer to you, right? So build a system that inspires trust. Have a conversation that inspires trust, right? That delivers instant trust. All of these things that we talk about deliver instant trust. People start going, oh, okay, I'm in the right place. I need to be here. I'm learning. I'm seeing. I need to follow you. I need to hear what she's saying. I need to do what he's telling me. I know this can help me, right? So I want you to go. I would love to see you implement all of these, okay? But at least commit to implementing one of them, right? Get very focused in that, not just, okay, I'm going to do this next time. I want you to, how are you going to ensure it? What are you going to do to ensure that you deliver more empathy? What are you going to do to ensure relatability? What can you do? What case studies can you show? What can you do to deliver social proof that you are the expert, right? That you're showing them the results. Here's where they were. Here's where they are. This is what we do. And this is how you can be sure you're in the right place, right? What key questions are you going to ask them that are more penetrating than what you've been? Let's discard what you've been doing and start inserting, or at least insert a question and a series of questions that will help you really unpack the things that matter, that go zero in on your level of expertise, right? And don't focus on the sale. Just write this piece down right now or put it in your brain. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about your product. Nobody cares about your program you're offering. They only care about what's the outcome that it will provide. I think you already know that. Preach into the choir, especially if you've been around here any length of time. Okay. And demonstrate your authority. You have to own it. Own your badassery and your expertise, because people need to feel it and hear it and see it from you. They need to know that you got this, so that because they're always second guessing. Am I in the right place? Am I trusting myself to follow this person? Right? You got to let them know you're in the right place. Right? You want to scale your company. You want to make more sales predictably. You want to get to a place where you're doing predictable and consistent sales through qualified booked appointments. You are in the right place, and you are in the only place, right? Make sure that you continue to follow, right? As always, thank you so much for trusting me to be part of your success team, right? I did say that we have something for you. I don't typically give out personal appointments for me here, but there's a way that we can get you set up here. And I am in this process at the moment, but if you want to get your calendars booked solid with the right motivated buyers in your market, we're here to help. Okay, just go in the show notes. There's a link, and just book a complimentary call with our team, and we'll make sure that we guide you every step of the way. right? We'll set that up. And right this minute, I'm part of that process. So you book a conversation, you could be talking to me. Okay, that's not always a guarantee. But I'm Jim Padilla, your host. And remember that sales happen when you have the right conversations with the right people at the right time about the right things, right? Go make some magic happen and go make the cash register ring. From your Chief Revenue Officer right here. We got you.